So it doesn't matter what I take, supplements, celery juice,
Yeah.
every of those very beautiful things. But if I am too stressed, my body doesn't take it. So, and then
Hmm.
I don't know what is happening. So basically, I need to calm down and
Yeah.
then again nourish myself. And because as soon as you have an inflammation, it takes forever.
Welcome, everyone, to the Skin Deep podcast. This is your go to source for everything skin health and self care. I'm your host, Makisha Banks, and thank you for joining me for another episode today. Today, I have a special guest. I am so excited to be talking to Ramone. We have connected on social media about a few times here, but I was really loving her social media because she is an eczema survivor. And I like to call it survivor, warrior. There's so many different terms, but I'm so excited to have this conversation with her because I feel like we need more people talking about their experience. So then that way we can really overcome some of the challenges. So thank you, Ramon, for coming on today. I'm really appreciating you today.
Thank you, Makisha, for inviting me. I really appreciate being on your podcast. I really like your speakers and everything what you do for this community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. And it's true. It's like a community. I feel like the eczema community is getting bigger and bigger, and we're all kind of connecting and sharing with each other. And I love that because I just feel the eczema community really needs a lot of support, especially in this day and age where we find, before there wasn't a lot of support. It was just a very mainstream way of treating us. But now I feel like the community is getting bigger. So my big question to you is, tell me about your eczema journey. How did it start? When did you discover it? What happened? Like, I want to know the beginning times with you when it comes to your eczema.
Yes, I think it's a very long time ago. My beginning of eczema was at the age of 20 when I
Okay.
arrived to live in Germany.
Okay.
And I haven't noticed at the beginning. And
Mm-hmm.
first thing I did, I just went to the doctor and asked, why do I have here red rashes
Yeah.
around this, around here?
Yeah.
And doctor said, like, I have eczema. And
Mm-hmm.
my dad has eczema too. So, and I got really scared with this um, message.
Yes.
And I say like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have this all my life now, the same as my dad has. I cannot even imagine. So out of the blue, I used to have like as a teenager a little bit, as a child a little bit, around my
Mm-hmm.
ears, around my eyes, but it was
Mm-hmm.
nothing like really bad. But as soon as I had this stress factor, leaving my country, going to live in Germany for a year, this is how it started.
Mm-hmm. So where did you live before Germany? Or where
Yes,
was it?
I am Lithuanian. I
Okay,
lived
got it.
18 years in Lithuania and then I moved to Germany as au pair.
Yeah.
And it was quite tough, I must say, So it's like a big change. You have
Absolutely.
to hold it on a lot of emotions, you cannot show, and you have to be tough. I didn't want to go back, so it
Mm-hmm.
influenced me a lot. So you hold to every pain and every emotion. You cannot really share, not without without talking to anyone even.
Yeah, and that's it because I feel like when I was having eczema in the beginning of time, no one had it around me. It was just myself. So it's like there wasn't really much people to talk to about it. And then when I spoke to my doctor, same idea. Here's, the prescription, you have eczema, and that's pretty much it. There wasn't any other education behind it or any other, resources. No one really told me what to do except for just put the product on, and that was it. So, and stress really does change it. I was a little bit younger when I had it, but I can imagine for yourself, like, yeah, when you uproot your whole life and you're going to a different country, it definitely, changes your whole aspect of like calm, collected, relaxed, but instead now you're stressed. So, how did you find that really impacted your skin?
Well, I was with the cortisone, with the steroids that you put on. It's
Yeah.
really easy to live because you
Yeah.
just put it on and you go out. As soon as you don't
Yes.
have the cream, it comes out. But then it would travel from here to
Mm-hmm.
here,
Yeah.
to the neck, to the face. So
Yes.
I had every time a different spot, and every time I would go to a doctor, and sometimes changing doctors. Maybe the other one is going to give me a better cream, or I
Yeah.
am going to heal faster. So I basically relied on doctors. Around age 25, I went to a homeopathist, so that
Mm-hmm.
worked with homeopathy, and they told me I should go off steroids. This was first time I heard something like that, and go drink water that they give me, and all of that. So I tried this for 6 months, and going off steroids, I went to tropical steroid that I didn't know that what
Yeah.
it was at the time, and yes, but I couldn't manage. It was my first year in studying in university, so I couldn't manage to go like this every day and go to work, and so I basically stopped after half a year, and again start taking steroids.
And that's the unfortunate part is that, when we kind of pause for a moment, we're like, oh, wait, hold on, it's getting worse. Maybe I need it. Let me keep using it versus not realizing what the actual underlining truth underneath it is. So, yeah, no, and I'm happy you even seen a homeopath because at the time when I was kind of growing up, I didn't even know what a homeopath was. I didn't even hear about it. So I'm actually kind of happy that you even knew what a homeopath
Well,
was.
this was the first time that I went to someone like that, and then I tried light therapy too. And like
Yeah.
if I was on trying, I was trying like almost everything. So I went to a light therapy, but this was also really strange. And afterwards, I tried acupuncture that helped me to relieve the eczema that was coming out. But
Yes.
I mean, half a year, and it was very expensive. I think I paid 5,000 euros just for 6 months
Oh, wow.
healing. Yes,
Yeah.
and so like I couldn't keep up. I think I spent all my money, my savings by the time I was 26. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was working basically to finance my skin problems.
And that's the suckiest part because when I've done so much research about eczema, especially now and how much money that is involved in it, it's literally like a billion-dollar industry, close to $1 trillion. And when I looked at different countries in terms of how much they're almost spending in every country, I was very astonished to notice that, in Asia and Europe, they're one of the highest spending countries when it comes to sometimes these treatments. And then it follows with America and then after that, Canada. But, I'm still shocked to this day to see, what the treatment costs are. But I'm not too shocked because when I looked at it myself, I was in the same thing. I was like spending almost close to $300 to $500 sometimes just getting treatments done, getting more cortisone cream, getting this and getting that. And it's like a consistent kind of rat race of like working, spending, taking care of your skin, why your skin messing up again, going back to the same idea. Like it sucks that we kind of go in that rat race of like having to spend that much money on something that we didn't really know what the deeper issue is. So when did you find there was that turning point where you decided to do something different?
I think at the time when my daughter was born,
Mm,
and I just knew that I cannot breastfeed and put cortisone in my body.
yes.
So I started like having issues about it because I knew that it's really bad. Everything what you take into you, so it gets through the
Yeah.
milk
Yeah.
to the children, and yeah, and actually I started questioning because then I got really concerned that my daughter is going to get the skin issues,
Yes.
and she got it.
Oh
So my daughter
no.
got skin issues at 6 months. So, and then I literally stopped the cortisone, stopped everything, and it didn't help at all. Anyways, it's like as
Yeah.
soon as my daughter was born, the cortisone stopped helping me. So I think the stresses were
Yes.
so high that the cortisone was not good enough anymore. So
Yeah.
and without sleep, nourishment, and everything. So it was like a tough stage, I guess. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then as soon as my daughter had it, I stopped gluten on her. I stopped all the triggers on her. It got better for her, but and I noticed, so this is how it works. So I also stopped taking all those, yeah, breads and sugars and everything. So we basically stopped, but it was not a help for us anyway. So for her, it was really helpful. We left for Australia for 3 months to travel. This is where we got less of eczema. She completely didn't have anymore, and I did a few, like always on the hands. Always had it on my hands,
Yeah.
but yeah. So
And it's crazy that you had to almost we move another country, and then you see the differences in what sometimes the weather and a different environment does for us too. But I do agree with what you're saying in terms of like your child having it. Like I was pregnant too, and I still had the eczema. I felt like it kind of died down a little bit because I was eating a little bit differently, and I was, you know, putting more self-care rituals into play, and I feel like that's why I didn't have as many flare-ups. So my daughter doesn't have it, but I understand that mothering kind of feeling of like you're scared that your child's going to have it, and I'm sorry that you ended up having to deal with that. Yeah.
yeah, well, but my both children had eczema.
Oh
Second one
no.
had even more.
Dang it. Oh no.
Yes, but it has to do, this is what I am working on, my research and everything. So I understand that all my stressors are going into child. It's not just
Yeah.
cortisol goes there, but it
Yeah.
also goes my cortisol
Yeah.
and the what I do, and they feel everything. They're connected to me. As long as you breastfeed, it just travels to them. So
Yes.
and my turning point was, I think, when I went to India and the children came, and I spent a month alone in India, and my flare up calmed down. You know, like I stopped the cortisone. I was healing myself at home for 6 months. I put a goal into my life. I want to go to India. I want to study yoga. And I left everyone, and I left for a month, and basically I was on a very bad TSW,
Yeah.
cortisone withdrawal,
Yeah.
and but as soon as I arrived there, I started yoga. I started a healthy lifestyle with no stressors, nothing. My nervous system came down, relaxed, and yeah, and I got better within a few days.
I
And
love
then
that.
no triggers were impacting me, nothing, absolutely nothing. But I had to first learn what is de-stress, what is to calm down, what is again to sleep. So I was a new person, so I didn't know what that is. I think I never
Yes.
knew in my life.
I'm so happy to hear that you did that. That's amazing. That's amazing. But yeah, continue.
Yeah. I mean, I did try a few other therapies that were really, really helpful, where I learned what that means to stop in life. I did also try psychedelics just before my trip to India. And I noticed first time in my life actually that the colors after the therapy, I noticed how it's nice to be calm, how nice is to see around me, how nice is to be in the present moment, uh, how beautiful it is when you don't rush anymore and you don't go anywhere
Yes.
and you don't have any appointments and you don't have children screaming. So it is like a retreat for a night, but then you come out as a different person. And if you can keep this peace a few days and maybe prolonged time, then it's really, really helpful. But if you go back again, then all this
Yes.
didn't work anymore. So, but I must say, I think those therapies helped me to understand how this works, like to calm down, basically to see myself, how stressed I am in my life. I didn't even know that I'm stressed. I thought it's
Yeah.
normal.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
I thought
Yeah.
it's normal to
Yeah.
run all the time. I mean, to get the bus, to drop children off. I don't know. I
Yeah.
thought it's normal. And I really liked it. It's like if I am in a low mood, I don't like it. So
Yeah.
it's like my life is too boring then.
I 100% like fully concur with everything you said because that's how I am. Like I am a person that's like go go go, let's keep going, fire fire fire, let's like I love that. But then that's what triggered my recent eczema episode was because I didn't realize I was in that chronic stress kind of phase. I was just like everything is fine because I'm so used to it. And that's where I was like completely tripped out because I'm like why am I getting eczema flare-ups again? And it's because we're almost programmed to believing that it's okay to be in high stress mode. It's okay to be on the go, go, go when it doesn't, it's actually not normal. Your body is in a state of fight or flight. And that's the thing that triggered my eczema recently, but before then it wasn't that bad. I was tolerating it. I was on the right track, but my issue before it was my food. It was my diet that was the issue. This time around it's the stress. So I completely agree with you with like that whole nervous system re-regulating it and getting it back down to normal where we shouldn't feel like being on chaos is a normal state of being. That's not normal. That's actually not normal. And we need to stop making that normal.
Yeah, but I've been noticing through years because I am off cortisone now for 6 years and I'm getting to know
Yes.
myself really different. So I have to
Oh,
learn to live with all of that. So that means but this is a different journey. This is a complete different journey because I don't know this journey. I don't know how to live differently. So I think TSW was difficult, but what I'm going now through all the stages in my life. So
yeah.
I'm basically sometimes not able to leave the house because I say like I
Yeah.
feel very vulnerable. I feel anxious. I
Yes.
feel it's like I have much more arrived to me of feeling, but of course through yoga because I start practicing a lot and all this work what I do like through with shamans. I worked with shamans. I did family constellations, and you start opening like peeling like this onion
Yes.
more and
Yeah.
more and you start being more and more sensitive. So, and I start feeling as soon as I am out of the door, do I want to face these people? Oh, they don't feel good to me.
Yeah.
Or I feel like, should I go to this party? Oh, it doesn't feel good for me. And shall I connect with those people? I say like, no, why do I do this? And in the old days, I would say to everything, yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And right now I'm learning and I say like sometimes if I don't sleep well, I say like, oh maybe today I'm going to have a nap. So I have to do those things now because I start feeling them. And if I don't do the nap, I don't sleep well at night. And maybe I will have a rash around my eyes. My hormonal disbalance starts.
Yeah.
And this is where when we are too stressed, we don't actually, this is also, I noticed the same. So it doesn't matter what I take supplements, celery juice,
Yeah.
every of those very beautiful things. But if I am too stressed, my body doesn't take it. So, and then I don't know what is happening. So basically, I need to calm down and
Yeah.
then again nourish myself. And because as soon as you have an inflammation, it takes forever. It could take again months, to
Yes.
calm it down, the flare. And the stress you can come down in a few days and all that, but it's like the gut and the inflammation. This is where it takes a little bit longer. But on holidays.
Yeah. And I think that's a good question too. Like in terms of your inflammation, how long did you find it took you to kind of calm that down based on the different modalities that you were kind of involved in?
TSW, like the inflammation, because I
Yeah.
feel, yeah, because I feel the biggest inflammation is when you drop the cortisone, and it comes up, it comes up very fast, but then it takes forever. And I see still people on social media that it takes 2, 3, 4 years, and I say
Yeah.
like I don't understand why it takes
Yes.
so long. And for me, it took 6 months. I don't
Good.
want to advertise that it is normal because I don't know. I was taking cortisone, I think, at the stage for about 16 years.
Yeah.
And people say, like, if you drop the cortisone, the withdrawal can take it as long as you took it, you know? But I say, like, no, 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 it can't be.
I don't believe that either. Yeah.
No. And for me, it was 6 months. And then I left to India and literally all came down. So it was really interesting. But also, I must say, I relaxed in India for a month. I came back, and after 3 months, no signs of eczema at all. So I told myself, oh, maybe I can start again drinking coffee.
Oh, the relapse comes in.
And then I start drinking coffee, exactly. I start drinking coffee, and I had a few pancakes, and then later on a cake in the day. And I said, like, oh, it feels so good again, you
Everything's
know?
amazing. Life is so wonderful.
And I can go back to new normal. Maybe
Yeah.
it was just a period of time, and I don't have TSW, and I will never
Oh
have
no.
eczema.
Yeah.
So nothing. After 2 weeks, I noticed a relapse. So relapse, but not so bad. So I had my hands affected, and it was not so bad. But I was not rash free. So on my
Yeah.
hands. So it took me another 8 months
Yes.
to get recovered from this. And
Yeah.
still, I was not aware that I'm pushing myself to the limit. At this stage, I was not aware. Now, 6 years later, yes. But my first year without steroids, I didn't know how to deal with my body. I didn't know. I was so disconnected. I was still disconnected, even if you have a help and you relax completely. But it is impossible to get to know yourself so quickly.
Yeah. And it's so true. It's like we don't realize that, like, when we get in that stage like you're talking about, because that's literally what happened to me too, is where you're like, oh, everything's amazing. The flare-ups are gone. The eczema's gone. I can live life again. And then you start tiptoeing into it. And then before you know it, you're like full blown eating like cookies and cake and all that. And then you're like, no, like I had such a great track record and now I'm like going backwards. But when you're going backwards, sometimes the thing that's good about that relapse is that you've seen what triggered it, but then also the right steps to recover a little bit faster again. And not so much faster, but more efficiently so that okay, I can't do that. I can't have that. I can do this. I can do that because you went through that stage of the relapsing so that it reminds you of, what really truly happened. Because I think the one thing sometimes people don't realize is when you're recovering from eczema, it's not a fluke, it's not by chance, it's not just by magic. We took actual steps to recover our body. But I think, when we recover and then we end up relapsing, we're like, what the heck? I thought the magic was always going to stay there. I thought we're always going to be happy. But then you have to redo those steps again so that you can see that, okay, this is actually how I can heal myself and I can have lasting changes, because it's not by fluke, it's by actual certain actions and steps.
Yeah, well, for me, I always had to go to India. Really,
Yeah.
once a year, I was going back to
Oh,
India
good.
to remind myself that this is possible. And yeah, it was really, really helpful.
That's
Oh,
good.
sorry, something just went off. Okay. Um, no, India was really great, and that's why I always have to see. I was learning every time I was going on a course, on a yoga course, and I was learning about fire. I was learning about calming down. I was learning about the routines that I can integrate in my daily life, that I can take it with me, because I see, like, if I'm doing so well here, I understand it's the climate, I understand it's the food, but
Yes.
then it's also mentally something was happening with me. So because of the movement, because on the hands it was really difficult that eczema disappears, and through movement and yoga, the circulation, the toxins, the cleaning is less disappearing. So And today I am actually eczema free if I take care of myself. And
Yes. I was going to ask you that, and I'm so happy about that. Congratulations, because it's not an easy journey. And I love everything that you're saying about that, the yoga and really taking care of yourself and going through understanding how to detoxify the body. Because, you know, the problem that I see a lot when it comes to the eczema community is everyone sometimes wants that quick fix. They don't want to go through that deep layers of uncovering themselves and understanding what is the trauma, what are the things that are stopping them from healing. And I feel like sometimes it's like the hero's journey, as they would call it, sometimes where you're going through the dark night of the soul, you're going through, seeing the traumas from your past and seeing the things that are sometimes, heritagely, brought down from families and so forth into our bodies, that we just don't realize that's what's trapped. And sometimes that's what's causing us to have those flare ups and, the heat and all of that in the body. So I love that journey. Could you explain a little bit more about how that process was for you?
yes, well, this was also another thing that with all the practices that you do, like family constellation, breath work, and you
Yes.
come back to yourselves, like it is really, really painful. I think I never cried
Yeah.
before.
Yep. Yeah. I completely relate.
So I became very, very tough not to show my emotions, and I was very tough with everyone basically around. It's like not showing anything, and I think I was so vulnerable at this stage at my TSW and all of that. So I feel like I'm ready to do everything just to
Yeah.
get all. Uh, Good again, so I want
Yeah.
to have my life back. I am ready to heal and I am open for everything. So basically I was going to a psychology seminar that I noticed how nice it is to have a community and talk about what is bothering you and what is painful for you. And I notice I can open up and I can talk about it in a nice community. So this was my first step. And then I discovered family constellations where I started learning like family dynamics, how they can affect me. So
Yes.
this was also very helpful because it was a lot of crying and
Yeah.
I didn't understand at the beginning what I am doing there, and it's like so many emotions and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not used to that and I'm not used to
Yeah.
people touch me. It's like, I was like, and then I start seeing that something is in me that I am not allowing. I'm not allowing other people to come in. I'm not allowing other people to touch me. Even the way I hugged people, I would be hugging like very quickly and then
Superficial, right? You're like, yeah, get off.
exactly. So, and I noticed that this is something that I put a lot of barriers in my life, so not to allow this in. And around now, I have like a community that I can do those things, share, have a honest
Yes.
conversation, and we can have a cry. I really, really liked a game. It's a Lila game. It's a ancient Indian game
Okay.
that it is you're talking to your subconscious mind.
Love that.
Yes, and you have this around the table with women, and yeah, and basically there are questions asked. There are the tarot cards and all kind of cards you have, and what do you see in those cards? And literally, you always describe you the way you see yourselves, and yeah, it was just so touching. So like you
Yeah.
cry, and there's a psychologist that is also leading these groups, and I mean, amazing. So I got into something that it's so profound and so deep. It's nothing superficial. It's like this is what I feel that our society sometimes lives so superficial. We are not
Yes.
even attached to each other. We are all about ego and sometimes the sharing even, you share about something what you do, you share about something what you have, but it's not that you go deep. And I think I also didn't know that before. So I like deep conversations. I could go deep, but I had the feeling people that I was around, there
Yes.
was nothing like that. And I learned to go into that deep, and I think this crying helped me so much. Releasing emotions, finding out much more about me. It is not pleasant, it is not nice. You are finding out so very nasty thing about yourselves. But then this was every time so helpful.
Yes. And I think that's the most important thing about eczema is that we do have to dig deeper. We have to go into the layers that we don't usually want to test or touch to understand what's causing sometimes this inflammation if you are a person that already eats really well, or you feel like you have great life going on and nothing should be bothering you, but there's like this eczema that you're like, I don't understand what's going on there. And it's really truly just to be really take accountability and look at your life and say, honestly, I think there's some things that are going on and I need to take a deeper look at it.
Yeah. Somehow we are so tough with ourselves. I don't know. It's like we can be doing sports, uh, eating very healthy, taking celery. It's like dropping alcohol for 5 years, not smoking. It's like
Yep.
really like being tough personalities. Tough
Yes.
personalities, let's say.
Yes.
And we are doing like everything too perfect. Too perfect.
Yeah.
We can like just doing, and we are amazing. So the way we are acting and whatever. But then in terms of, we also tap to other people and learning this connection. It's just like, because that's why we get so inflamed, that's why we get so unhappy, because we are just very efficient and active and doing things and fast, and then we get,
Unconscious. We're really just
yeah,
unconscious.
unconscious.
We're just doing and doing, but not really taking a moment to be like, what did I just do? Who did I just talk to? Like, even just the power of hugging someone. It's so true. Like, I usually hug people, but when I started really understanding the power of hugging and connection with people and having that 20-second hug, I was like, wow, like, you feel so different when you give someone a nice embrace for a long period of time, or just having conversations with your friends and really getting deep inside and just uncovering really good things about them. Like, having those moments with people, it's connectivity. And I feel like you're so correct. Like, the world we live in, especially in the Western area, we are very superficial. We're not really understanding what it means to support other people and having deep connections and deep, friendships. It's really just like, yeah, I'll see you soon. That's it. Done. Bye. Like, there's not that deep connection that we need.
It happens already, like in your childhood. This is the
Yeah.
same. It's like you
Yes.
want a deep connection to your parents, but if your parents never learn to connect deeply, so never hugged you. So I have a problem to stay or share something to a person about me, not to bother this person, like with my burden, I would say. And
Yeah.
then like that this person just hugs me and cries with me, I just also feel like, oh really, oh, do you really want to do that? So it is
Yeah.
something like, and in this kind of circles I have learned, like, there was a woman I still remember, she hugged me for such a long time when I was crying, and I realized I never in my life cried in my mom's arms like that.
No. Yeah.
I still cannot remember the time. I am really close with my mom, but we are
Yeah.
not close in that way of hugging and staying very long and showing tears. I never saw
Yes.
my mom crying, so I never cried.
Yeah. And we kind of have those same replicas of our family, like your parents, and just kind of think it's normal, not realizing it's not to say that it's not normal, it's just to say that it's not really allowing us to express our truth or express how, excuse me, how we actually feel. So, yeah, I do agree. Like, it comes from the childhood, and I didn't realize that myself until I started doing some uncovering myself too.
Yeah. Well, the same. I mean, with mother, with my dad, the same. I mean, I even now today, like if I would talk to him, it would be about nothing. So it was very superficial.
Yes.
So it's not about how you feel, or I don't want to hear sometimes like something very, very painful.
Hmm.
It's okay, some generation like generational things we cannot really change. If there's, well,
Yes.
we can talk, but we cannot change our parents, so we have to start changing ourselves. And yeah, but it was really, really helpful for me to understand, maybe not to go into conflicts just for certain things too with them. And yeah, it's just that also accepting, allowing, and saying like, okay, I am really, really grateful for the way I am, and I'm grateful that I discovered this path, because without eczema, I wouldn't discover myself.
I know, isn't that the sad part too? It's like a double whammy. Like we're like, dang it, I'm sad that I had to deal with this, but at the same time, I'm so happy that I dealt with this because it allowed me to go on path of my true calling, to be passionate about something that I want to, do as a further career, or I got to understand things about my family or things about myself. It's just like through pain, we gain at the same time, and it shouldn't be that way, but that sometimes is the way we end up going on the right trajectory for our life.
Yeah, but I think before even my carriera and all that, what I did, because I did like big jobs and
Mhm.
wherever, and I was just pushing
Mhm.
myself to something that I was never happy when I did, like
Yeah.
studying and doing the job and achieving,
Yes.
achieving, achieving, and then you arrive and then you say like, but I don't feel very fulfilled in all of that. So, and then the next
Mhm.
goal without even celebrating. So,
Yes.
so it would be like with everything. I don't know how many degrees I got, in my life.
You're like, I have 10. Really? Do I have 10?
Because if you start counting all of, languages, going to different countries, it's a amazing resume, you can talk about it. I don't introduce myself anymore, so
Mhm.
I'm going more into this introvert part and just observing and seeing how people sell themselves, how they are. So this
Mhm.
is my attitude right now, because I feel like, what do I say now? Because I say like, I am in this path that is actually really exciting, and I can go like deep in. But I
Mhm.
notice as soon as I go very deep in, I cannot even sleep again, because it's something mine. It's something that is so inspiring what I
Yeah.
do, like working with my on myself, with others, and
Mhm.
yeah.
And I'm so happy you're talking about that because it's such a funny part for me too. Like I was an educator, I was doing all of these things in the beauty industry, and I loved it. I loved it, but it was a different love. I completely agree with you. It was an ego. There's an ego that's behind it that was loving the attention, the fame, and the being here, doing that. And, it was enjoyable as an educator and also being a beauty specialist and doing those other parts. But like I agree with you. There's a point in time where I realized it wasn't the same level of passion that I had when I was talking about my own business and about, eczema. Like I'm passionate when I talk to people about it and how I can help them, and, the things that we can do as a community to help people overall. And it comes from more of like a selfless passion versus a self-serving passion that it was before.
Yes, yes. No,
Hmm.
because this is a complete different approach, I would say. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, because right now I have to stop myself usually, so
Yeah.
it's to see like, do I do this just to show off, or do I do this for myself, or do I do this for someone to educate, or
Yeah.
advocate in this case. And I do ask, what would I like to hear myself? What would I like to do, like to hear, to be around with? So it's like I do ask those questions so that I again don't get lost again.
Yeah. You're like, is it for me? Or is it for them?
Because
Yeah.
sometimes, I still get lost. I still get lost. Sometimes if I have a flare up, that happens usually when I travel somewhere to a new place and I don't know, completely out of balance, my hormones again. And yeah, and then I started asking myself, what did it just happen right now? It's like, why? Then you
Yeah.
go and I still have those moods that I go back and yeah. I don't know. I have the feeling also to eczema community that it helped me a lot to listen to people that have eczema like
Yes.
but I have the feeling it helps much more to hear about it, who came out of it, like, and how did they
Yes.
do, because if I see those pictures of suffering eczema community,
Yeah.
I say,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it's like it is so difficult to see this again. It's like,
Yeah.
and then
It's
I
so
go
true. It
into the
triggers
mood.
you.
Yes, it triggers me. It goes really deep. So I have the feeling I can help you, but I cannot see pictures.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm so happy that you're saying that too because it's so true. Like, there's a difference between trying to inspire people from the suffering and showing them the overcoming part, right? But the part that I get a little frustrated with the eczema community is the suffering and taking shine on suffering and suffering and suffering and suffering. Like, we have to shine the light. Like, how are we going to overcome this if we only talk about the pain? We have to talk about how we're overcoming it. And I agree with you. There's this weird thing that I'm noticing on social media where we're all collectively saying, you're in pain, I'm in pain too. Let's all be in pain together. And I'm like, no, guys, I want us to be like, this is where I was, but this is the things that I'm doing to overcome. These are the things that I'm doing to help support myself in my journey. Versus it's like, I'm crying today. Let's, like the picture of me crying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you see the same thing?
Yes. No, because this is what I said, like, I don't want to suffer. This is what was
Yeah.
my, like, I didn't say this affirmation as an affirmation, we have to put this in a different way, but I just didn't want it to suffer because I say,
Yeah.
like, the suffering is if I blame others. The
Yes.
suffering is if we stay all together in it. And then
Yes.
the suffering is if it takes too long. The suffering is if
Yes.
nothing helps. And it's like suffering, suffering, suffering. And I feel like this is a different attitude to something if you want to heal. It's like, or I
Yes.
want to relax because relaxing is not suffering anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and somehow I was I was always actually following a Rob Stewart. I think this was my the best example because I think at the time it was 2018. He was the only one that he was healed eczema leader, and I
Okay.
said like, oh wow, I said like this is the only one I know and he is fine. And somehow he had very very good approach, so, and he was very helpful for me because it was like, oh, there's someone, it's made it, so,
Yes.
and it was my
Yes.
goal.
Yeah.
It was my goal because otherwise there was no one to look at. But I say, like, for me, it was really important. I also read a lot of books of people who had cancer, who healed themselves. So I was going a little bit like into all those illnesses or sicknesses that are incurable.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I just started realizing that actually cancer is worse than eczema.
Yeah.
And this helped me a lot to understand that I am not so bad. So, and I shouldn't
Yeah.
be here suffering.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then it was really helpful because you go like a path of someone who healed, and they have like a very good examples. How did they come out? And then you start following them on social media, and then you realize that our paths are really similar.
Yes.
when you want, if you approach the healing. So we don't have to just look one side, because diseases, I think, are created all this in the same way. They build up the same way. It's not just that we are active and running, but we also become very angry, negative, and all those emotions that are not to our advantage, because we are actually harming ourselves. And I think this negative talks that we have. So I think the diseases, all diseases are building up like that, not just eczema.
Yes.
And that's why for me the books were really, really interesting to read about all of this. Yeah, emotional healing.
And
Yeah.
that's what I saw some of your posts that you put up, is that you're showing people to regulate their nervous system, to remember to breathe, and to understand that the healing comes from within. And I believe that wholeheartedly. As much as I always tell this on every episode and every single person, that as much as I have a eczema product that's out there, but it's not to say it cures it. It's really just to support the skin barrier. But I realize, quite often that our emotions, our nervous system, just our thoughts are sometimes what's causing us to feel eradicated and feel really, crazy, and it's slowing down that healing process. So how did you find, doing things to heal your nervous system or to regulate your nervous system? How did you find that really help your healing?
Well, first of all, this is also a learning curve, for me was nervous system when I am overactive or overreactive, or too much cortisol in a day because of positive or negative. So I wouldn't sleep at night. So for me it was really, I could see it at night, so I couldn't settle into sleep. So I
Yeah.
had to start doing something. I started breathing. I started reading about it first, how to calm the nervous system down. So I basically did on every topic in my life research, and then
Yeah.
I try to just calm my nervous system down. So it was with yoga. I noticed yoga helps. Okay, which kind of yoga? Then I went with yin yoga in the evening. Sometimes I overdid, so I was too active, so I couldn't sleep. Um, then I had to breathe. I tried Wim Hof techniques to breathe in the evening, so it was helpful. And but then for me it was really helpful journaling. So talking to someone, everything what happened, to write it down and just somehow close the chapter for me for the day. I will do this in the morning. I will do this in the evening. I would do also like bring the feet up, to the
Yeah.
wall, and so
Elevate it. Yeah.
blood, the blood comes down. Right now, I use lavendel, so that you put the lavendel oil to put it on the nose, and
Oh,
then this breathing just helps a lot to calm the nervous system down. I will never believe in my life for all those techniques. Never. It's like
yeah.
nothing that I am doing right now. I was connected. So now it's like essential oils, maybe a cold bath, or going to the sea to swim in winter. So all this kind of things I would never do. I was so disconnected from myself. But then I start trying all of it, and somehow I start liking it, and I start liking it everything. And
Yeah.
I see it works. Doesn't matter what I do. I can take a nice tea in the evening for sleep, and it would be helping. So it's like,
Yes.
but to calm all down, sometimes I need just to be alone and go to walk in the woods barefoot, and this would be already calming down my nervous system. But I need time. Sometimes sleep in the day if I am overexcited. I did, for example, once a seminar on emotion release, and I was so excited because I saw the impact with people,
Yeah.
and it was it's like my cortisol. I didn't know what to do with myself. So just went to the beach, and I noticed, like, I had the feeling I had like 10 coffees. So this
Yes,
is
I know what you mean. Yeah.
and and then I need time. I need to cancel everything for the day, and I need to just relax. And I noticed this was too much. If this is going on, I literally going to have eczema tonight. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm so happy that you said that, the good or the bad of the cortisol, because at the end of the day, it's still cortisol in the body. It doesn't recognize it if it was a bad cortisol increase or if it was a good or cortisol increase. That was like a
No.
mind blow moment for me, because I never really took that part in. You know, I do agree with you when sometimes we're just so elevated, so hyper, and we don't realize that that could also trigger the body because of the fact that it's still cortisol, it's still dopamine, it's still those chemicals that make our body like on high. And you know, we don't realize that could also sometimes be too much for us, and we have to kind of take that down so that yes, we can get better sleep at night.
And all this also, what you're saying, somehow you come up with ideas, um, like having a very heavy exercises in the evening, like running. This is
Yeah,
something that I cannot do. I cannot go
yeah,
running after 5 p.m. I cannot go lifting weights,
yeah,
uh, because we activate the body, or having a very like social conversation for a very long stretch, like a I don't know. It should. I cannot go to a disco, but
yeah.
but something like a very heavy like conversations at night,
Hmm.
or maybe impactful conversations that or decision taking, and then you have to take this with you into sleep. So it's also I wouldn't avoid. Like now I'm avoiding this. I don't know if I became very sensitive. I say like I don't know how people survive nowadays,
Yeah,
but
it's so true. It's so true. Sometimes I'm like, am I just like overly sensitive? Like, I knew I was very aware and empathic to people's feelings and emotions and so forth. But nowadays, I'm like, am I just like a magnet and I'm just like really taking it in now? Because I feel like sometimes I'm just like way too stimulated. So, what do you do as your night kind of ritual now? Like, you're doing those different types of things, or do you have like specific things that you have to do no matter what?
no, I don't do like I say much, but what I try to do not to have those impactful conversations at night, so no fights at least. So 1 hour before I would go to bed and I would take my tea and I would read a book or I would journal and just take lavender for the nose to sleep. You know that
Yeah.
I can have this fresh again smell. I don't know. It's like I don't do much right now. Before I used to do a lot, but I overdid too. So I
Yes.
need to
Yes.
have just this calm. Sometimes just to have a walk in the evening is very helpful before bed. But I mean, I have two children, so I still have to see what I can fit in, and I cannot. I did before, I think 3 hours my
Yeah.
night routine, but
People are like, "You really got those rituals down pat," and I'm so guilty of it too. I'm so guilty of it too.
no, because we are doers. We are like
Yeah.
logic minds. So as
Yeah.
soon as we get into something, for us it's logic.
Yeah.
So we don't act with the heart. So and you do everything what is logical, and you understand. You read the book, you understand, and you will try it all. So
Yeah.
and then I overdid because I
Mhm.
noticed that I am just working on myself. I'm just working on
Yeah.
myself, and it's
Yeah.
like it is a lot. And then, but literally through the day, those little rituals, taking your supplements, drinking your water, eating regularly, exercising, not doing exercise at once is like doing maybe like in the morning half an hour,
Yeah.
then in lunchtime half an hour, in the evening walking with the kids and with bare feet, So
Yeah.
it's like doing through the day, not like at once. Because I
Yes.
would do like 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the evening, and then it's a lot. And
Yeah.
sometimes I overdid that way that I would go swim
Mhm.
in the in the cold water, and
Yeah.
then I would because it is a very cold water, and I would run to the mountain. I would come home
Yeah.
after 1 hour exercise, and I feel like I could go down to sleep because I have no energy.
Yeah.
So it's like it's overdoing, and we have
It's
to
like the
listen to our
extremes. It was too much of the extreme.
yeah because it's all overdoing because I think if we work hard.
Yeah.
If we exercise hard.
Yeah.
If we take care of ourselves, we do it
Yeah.
also very well.
Yeah. You're so right on that. I had to switch my overall routines and rituals at a certain point because I figured the ones that I was doing before weren't as effective as they were recently when had that recent flare up. So for example, the breath work that you're talking about, the yoga, the walking, the running, the tea, the journaling, all of those things, I did those all the time before. And then it's almost as if like because it was still part of my go 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 ritual, it's like recently when I had that recent eczema episode, I was like, okay, let's journal again, let's do this again. And I'm like, it's not the same, it's not as effective anymore. So it's like I almost had to kind of switch my overall body rituals and do things a little bit differently. So I took up qigong. I was like, okay, this is different because slowing me down even more. The yin yoga versus just the regular hot yoga that I would do. And I'm like, okay, it's slowing me down even more. And then doing meditation a couple of times through the day. Like, it's so true. Like, I used to just do it in the morning and the night. But then I realized because sometimes that, cortisol spike will happen here and there throughout the day, I have to do a little bit more of that breathing again, a little bit more of that meditation, some slow stretching, doing a couple of movements for Qigong. And that's what kind of helped me regulate and bring down that inflammation out of the body and start healing again. But I realized it's true. Like the modalities that I did before that were the extreme, like the morning and the night, that were helpful were no longer the same kind of helpful now. So I do agree that we have to almost do it throughout the day versus it just being at 2 points of contact in the day.
Yeah, well, the same as like sometimes just lying down and listening to the music.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like I had like my eyes flare, it's like for a half a year, like on and off, and I said like I don't know what is happening and why. It's literally sitting in front of the computer, because if you do it too much, we do it 6 hours
Yeah,
without removing ourselves from the computer.
yeah, yeah.
So, and writing my book. So, and I had to remove myself, put something cold on my eyes, and then just have music. And sometimes I would listen to music for 3 hours because I couldn't do anything else. I didn't feel, I didn't feel well. So,
Yeah,
and then I would wake up. It's like, wow, my rash is gone.
yeah.
Yes, but the shift. So when you lie down, is also like your negative thoughts are away during the day, not at night. Because at night we still go with everything we want to do, but during the day we stop somehow. So as
Yes.
if you sit up and then lie down, it's like, oh, just you feel like you feel, So
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right on point with that, and I'm so thankful that we had this conversation because it's one of those things that you don't realize the similarities that we were just mentioning that you do with other people do that also have eczema and how it helped them. And it's such a great thing for people to realize that not everyone's going to have the same kind of healing journey. Everyone has their own things that they work for them, but no matter what, the most common denominator out of it all is to calm that nervous system down, make sure we're eating better things, taking care of ourselves, recognizing when we're out of balance and so forth, and just it's really realigning ourselves to be connected and whole and aware of ourselves versus just not, and just being on the rat race of like go go go, do, be here, be there, and so forth.
yeah, I don't know if this is normal, but I think we are just very, very sensitive. I
Yeah,
think we are, as a human beings, are very, very sensitive, and the skin shows it. And
yeah,
I think I'm really, really grateful. Sometimes I say like, ah, it can't be. I don't know what to do right now. So it's like,
yeah.
but I say like, how come? How come others don't have it? But then I start realizing, working at this with emotions and other people, that everybody has it.
They just
Everybody
have
has it.
they express it in a different way. Some people have it in back pains and migraines and so forth, but we show it
Yeah.
through our skin, so ours is just a little bit different.
Yes, and that's why I didn't start. It's like I was not angry anymore. Maybe it's like I
Yeah.
think it's also the anger that we have. Like,
Yeah.
oh, why it's me and why I am so like that, It's like why they can go out and have drinks and socialize with people, and I
Yeah.
have to think about it if I want to do or not.
Why can't I have a darn drink? Dang it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we can have. I think we
Yes.
can have and we can enjoy ourselves. It just depends on the timing. Do we feel good about it? Or I do also have coffee and I don't want to limit myself in life. Like it's not that
Yes.
I say like for this is definitely not, but
Yes.
I do see that also coffee is not good for me. But if I am enjoying it and not doing it out of stress,
Yes.
I feel good about it. So I need to see if I am in my stress levels are high. So if I take a coffee, then it's of course it's even worse. But then if I am in the low and I'm fine with taking a coffee, I am not reacting to coffee then.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so true. Like it's really knowing when your body speaks to you. That's like that literally is what it's summed up to say. It's that the body will let you know this is a good time or not, but you have to be aware of knowing if it's a good time or not. Because it's true. Like I could have some chips here and there, but I have to realize how much did you eat already today, Makisha? Did you already have some good whole foods and so forth? But if you already started off your day messed up, this is not adding and helping it. So it's so true. It's like you don't want to limit yourself. You don't want to feel like all I can eat is sweet potatoes and broccoli and Brussels sprouts for the rest of my life. But you can have it in portions and also in smaller doses. But it's being aware and knowing when too much is too much.
Yeah, well, for example, what I do right now is maybe sugar, that I don't eat sugar at all.
Yes,
And
yes,
this is very good because it's like I can enjoy other things,
yeah,
like full
yes.
meals. And it's like, what, like so sugar, I did cut this time for 4 months now. So I'm trying, like, if I have it somewhere in a milk or whatever, so I don't care, but I don't take it like a pastry and eat it like just like that. So I would just avoid not to buy those things because they're very attractive. And then
Yeah.
it's like this goes really fast because I must admit I had like acne around here or rosacea. I don't even know because I
Yeah.
didn't go to really investigate what that was, but I had it for a very long time, rosacea. And this is something why I didn't understand where it comes from. And then I went to osteopath, and he told me, "Oh, this is nutrition. I mean, nutrition is missing, and you have to do
Oh.
some cleansing or whatever." And it was really interesting because I did this cleanse for a month, and my actually acne or rosacea just went
Disappeared.
after
Oh,
4 days.
good.
And I was suffering for at least a year. I don't
Mm-hmm.
say like I suffered, but I had to always do something. So no one would see it because I did so much to cover it up,
Yeah.
to burn it, to nourish it, but all from outside. And I ate very well. It's not that you don't eat very well, but I did have sugar, and I think they're parasites that if they are once inside, they are showing you on the face.
Yeah. And it's
And
true.
I
I
can
see that
tell.
a lot. I see that a lot in my work and when I'm working at the clinic and I'm helping people with their skin, especially when it comes to the face, they don't want to believe that, hey, you need to do a cleanse. You need to purify your body. You need to stop eating all of these junky foods. But they feel like, oh, if you just do this facial, we can get rid of it. And I'm like, it's not, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. If I kind of help clean it up on the top, it's still underneath. And it's so true. Like, that's the only thing that gets me frustrated with the beauty industry is that a lot of people don't think they have to do that extra deeper work. And that's what this is all about, is doing that extra deeper work to get rid of what we're afraid of and what's kind of showing up on the body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but what happens with acne, I think this is what it is. You have to go deeper. The same, like because I had it terrible acne when I was 22. And
Mm-hmm.
it helps you from outside, this therapies for some time. I don't know,
Yes.
it helped me, but I had to go deeper. So I need to do cleanses like once a
Mm-hmm.
year, sometimes
Yeah.
twice a year. And if I forget, I will have it something on my face.
Yeah, you'll see it. It'll be like, hey, remember me? We didn't do it again. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, thanks for the reminder.
Yes, yes. But this is it's a very interesting. I mean, it was for me again because my last cleanse, I must say, it was 5, 6 years ago,
Okay.
like very deep because I was going through TSW, and
Mm-hmm.
this was really deep. So just vegan, just green, and all these kind of diets. And I did it
Mm-hmm.
for a very long time, like 2 years, something like that, and celery juice through 6 years,
Mm-hmm.
and. But still, I haven't gone a little bit deeper, like no
Mm-hmm.
sugar, like quitting it.
Yeah. And I was going to ask you that before we wrap up is what is it that you're doing today that's helping you maintain your skin? Like whether it's a modality or food or whatever. I know you just said no sugar. Was there anything else that you're doing right now that's helping you maintain?
Yeah, I'm trying to eat without gluten.
Okay.
This is where I would not touch. Basically, no alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I can have only if I have a beer,
Yes.
because this is something that I can support, and nothing that is acidic. Like I still try not to eat like vinegar, something where it's vinegar,
Mm-hmm.
lemons. I am also very careful with lemons, and
Mm-hmm.
I cannot say it's triggering me, but I have to be a little bit aware. This is citrus fruits, all of those nightshades. I also, it's like I cannot say I can eat everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Ananas, something that I am not really even friends with. Somehow
Yeah.
it doesn't feel good to me.
Yeah.
So it's not that I say like I am allergic like in the old days,
Yes.
but I need to certain things. I have the feeling they're talking to you. It's like it sounds
Yeah,
weird,
my
but
mom says the same thing. She's like, they need to be smiling, okay? If they're not smiling and talking, you don't eat it. And I'm like, that's a good way to look at it, Ma.
yeah,
So fruits and vegetables, they
it,
have to be happy, as my mom says.
yeah. Well, but I think basically it's gluten. I try to not to take as much coffee, but I do drink coffee, and
Hmm.
lately once a day.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I have the feeling if your immune system is down, this is why I start cutting the foods.
Yes.
Right now, I am not eliminating. I am even eating meats because I notice with meats I sleep better.
Yes.
I
Good
was
grounding.
vegan for 5 years, and I noticed that my flare up still was there, and I had a very bad sleep. My sleep was
Yes.
very bad. So
Yeah.
basically, nothing calmed me down. So, and I got even more frustrated if I didn't get foods. So it's
Hmm.
like if you are so nervous about healing, about everything what is happening in your outside world,
Yeah.
then like just the veggies didn't help me because I needed to eat much more of them and more
Hmm.
regular and not leave the house. I don't know,
Yeah.
it was really weird. And
Yeah.
as soon as I start eating, I think it happens now a year ago
Hmm.
with meats. I start sleeping better, and my skin got better. Like, well, I cannot say it was bad, but
It
you
helped
on and
it.
off have something. It helped me. It
Hmm.
helped me.
Hmm.
So it helped me regulate better, or it regulates faster, I would say.
Yeah. No, I'm so happy that you mentioned those different things because it's a little bit of everything and being aware of what we can eat is important. And I feel, sometimes when people are like, "Oh, you can't have any meats" and so forth, and I'm like, "You can have meats, but you have to have everything in moderation. You can't go out there and say I'm going to have meat and eat a burger. You want to have meats and you're cooking it well and you're doing the right things of proportioning it with the right foods and vegetables to go with it." So, yeah, and I'm happy that you mentioned that. That's really great. And
I
I'm
think it's all in moderation. It's all in balance. Because
yes.
if you really crave for pasta, and you say like, I die to have pasta. How can you like for days go with no pasta and you still would feel like, oh, it's a conflict there. So
Yes.
basically it's like you have to still allow yourselves because we are really tough with ourselves, like we are cutting something off and we are not going to do that. And then if we eat.
Yeah.
So it's like in moderation.
Yeah. And you were mentioning you wrote a book. So tell us about your book. I would love our viewers to know what your book is about and how it can help them.
Well, my book is basically everything what we just spoke
Okay.
today. It's just a deeper. It's just a deeper dive in about emotions and my path of going how I go deep with how I notice the conversations with people, what happens between us, and like what conflicts I had with myself after conversations. And I describe basically situations that people know how that feels going into work and how did I actually come out of those situations, how long it took me. So it's like this inner talk with yourselves. Also describing a little bit story how I grew up and my parents and about emotions not being able to share and how all evolved and what is helping me, how to heal eczema in the
Yeah.
way to put a goal in your life. Healing is not a goal. Healing is a journey and a
Yes.
goal is something else. You also have to distract yourselves. It's not just healing is a goal. You have to
Yes.
distract yourself with something else in life, to do something else, maybe help someone, something joyful, because it's not a, yeah. I feel like if we focus too much on one thing, it's never going to happen. So we have to distract ourselves and do something what is fun, because otherwise it's very dark.
And lonely. And lonely because it's absolutely true. When you're sitting there healing and all you think about is healing and healing and healing, you're not thinking about anything else that life is about. Like, there's a lot of people that have different ailments and they're still living life. They're still like, I don't care. I got to keep going. And it's true that if we only focus on that, then we don't take the good parts with the bad parts and all of the highs and the lows. We're only thinking about the lows of like, I'm not healed yet. I'm not healed yet. I'm not healed yet. And we need to distract ourselves. So I 100% agree with that
Yeah,
statement.
I mean, it I understand it's really difficult to distract yourself when you're going through TSW. I was there, but then still maybe efficiently to do something at that time. I don't know. I would recommend to everyone to leave because you cannot work, you cannot
Yeah.
function,
Yes.
when you go through TSW. You just have to leave. You have to take a month off and go. I say like I did it. I recommend for everyone. And I think just to go away and calm your nervous system down, and this is where it starts your healing, and then learning to live with yourselves basically in those all situations, because then you can enjoy a little bit this life around us. Because with TSW you cannot enjoy really yourselves. This is just a
No.
healing part,
You can't even
but
focus. Like you said, you can't focus on anything. Like, oh, I have to go to work now, but I'm in pain. I can't even put my clothes on. It's true.
no,
You can't do both.
it's horrible. And I think this is where, I don't know, maybe some countries already have that you go on a sick leave and for some
Yes.
time if you're
Yes.
really bad. I think this is what is happening. This is what I see on social media. And I think it's great because, but then I say like, let these people leave and just disconnect and relax about all of that, because if you're in a different environment and no one knows you, you feel
Yes.
much better. And it's
Absolutely.
like
Yeah.
already, yeah, and it comes down faster. I think this is what happened to me every time when I went to India. So first time was really bad, but every time I went, I didn't have like a real rash. So it's like it was just like a little bit of eczema, and then it would go away. But I think we have to learn to come down, and this
Yeah.
is, yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
really
No,
really
it's true.
important.
Well, there's a couple of questions that I ask all of my guests before we, close off the session. My first question to you is, what is self-care to you? Like, what does that mean?
Be kind to myself and
Mm.
operate with my heart, not with my logic.
Thank you. That is amazing. I haven't heard that one. A lot of the times people would say what they do, but not the true meaning. And I love that. Being kind to ourselves. We're not kind to ourselves, for goodness sakes. We're kind to
No,
other people, but ourselves, we're like, you suck. And you're like, you're talking to yourself.
no, this is what we do.
Yeah. And now my next question is, if you had anything or a modality that you have to do self-care for yourself, what would it be?
Do yoga.
Yoga? Okay. I had a feeling you were going to say that. I had a feeling because I'm like, that brought you to your healing journey. So it makes sense that you can't let it go. And I wouldn't let it go either. It has helped me so much. So thank you. I appreciate that. Now, please tell everyone where they can meet you, find you, get your book, and know a little bit more how to get in touch with you and what kind of work you do.
Yeah, well, everybody can meet me on social media, on Instagram. And well, I wrote my book in German, unfortunately for now, but I need to see how the community keeps up, and I will translate it in English because German is a language that I can communicate better through years, and I can also open up because it was a very, I think it was the connection was between Germany and me also. So. Um, yeah, and I finish up this topic, and I must say this was my healing. As soon as I finished the book, it was like my stone was off my heart, and
Oh.
it was a very deep work, and it took me a lot of energy. So, and I think I put all my heart into that book, so that's
Mhm.
why I will upload anyways on social media to buy this also hardcover and ebook, and yeah, this is basically how you meet me so far. And I am operating more in the German market,
That's
and I'm
okay.
going
Yeah.
to be in October on a magazine and a retreat in Spain that is going to come up also next year. Also for eczema community where we can get together. So I have the
Hmm.
feeling people that get together they can share and
We
they can
elevate.
understand each
Yeah, and we elevate the energy. When they say when people are getting together and they have the same intention, it spreads. It affects a lot of people around them. And I think that's the main thing is that when we get together and we have conversations like this or retreats, oh, I would love to go to your retreat and, just be around other people that have the same intention of, I just want to heal, I want to share, I just want to be loved, I want to love. And then, you see how much it impacts the collective, but other people as well, and they walk away a better person. So I'm happy that you're doing those retreats.
other. Yeah. Well, I'm going to India for 3 months this
Oh,
year.
exciting. You're like, I might as well just move there, girl. You love it.
Yeah, I feel like let's see. This is a plan, and yeah, maybe I will organize retreats there because I say like it's really important. It's all money
Hmm.
worth. The money that I spend outside of India is like this was not helpful.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I say like they're amazing teachers, and you heal it immediately, and that's why I say like I need to maybe do something like that.
Hmm. No, that's amazing, Ramon. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm going to put all of those links and everything in their show notes, but I thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. It was such a great time having you on and connecting with you. And I feel really connected as if like solely with you because a lot of the things that you talked about in terms of your modalities that you've used, I've done the same thing, and it feels good that I wasn't the only one because I feel like sometimes when I talk about it, people are like, "No, I just that's too woo woo for me. I can't do that," and I'm like, "What?" So I love knowing that you did those same similar things because it means that we're all on the right track. We just find different ways that works for ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad. It's like this is what you say. I think eczema communities like brothers and sisters, if they be open up, because I see on the social media that they all work towards it, but somehow they still stuck,
Yeah.
in all what they do. And you see those 50,000 followers, and I say like, how did it happen, And but then it is happening because people like to suffer, people like to see sufferers, and but then I say like you, I say like I don't see so many people like you
Thank you.
doing that.
Yeah. And I don't want to suffer. I don't want to suffer. I want everyone to, live life and be free. And I get, like I said, I see the same thing that you see online, and I wish that we can just continue to uplift people, continue to show people the other side of it, so that way they can see that there is light at the tunnel. Just you got to walk through the tunnel and then do the things
Yeah.
and open the doors and open the windows through the tunnel, and they'll get to that light. So thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate you, and I can't wait to have you on again. I definitely want to hear more of these retreats, because I am finding my ways across the other side of the sea. I definitely am going to be coming around Europe more often, and you never know, I might pop into one of your
Yeah,
retreats.
would
So
be
I
great.
appreciate
Would be
it.
great.
Thanks for tuning in to the Skin Deep podcast. Don't forget to download your free guide to our 10 hacks to great skin. Just check the link in our bio. I look forward to seeing you in our next episode. Have an amazing day, everyone, and enjoy your self-care Sunday.